Hey, hey, boss. Hey, how are you today? It's your girl, Lashaunda Henry here, aka SistaSense. Always excited to share things you can do to work on your money, your marketing, and your sales goals too, with strategy and intention. So, we are going to continue the book business week as we move forward with some amazing guest speakers. Today, I have Lashaunda Hoffman. So, you're going to have two Lashaundas today. We're going to talk to you about how to promote your book. So, hopefully this session is right on time. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Tag your business besties, and of course, share this out. Sharing is caring. That's what it's all about. And if you're catching us on the replays side, feel free to drop into the comment box hashtag replays rock. So, all right, y'all. Without further ado, I am going to bring on to the virtual scene to talk to you, Miss Lashaunda Hoffman. Welcome.
Hello. I'm excited to be here with my other
Oh my goodness, Lashaunda and I have been in virtual circles together for I don't know how many years now, right? And so it's so amazing to be able to connect on this level. I'm excited to have you here.
Well, I am super excited. I have been following you for I want to say as long as you've been online. I think we kind of came on and on about the same time, but you were doing what I wanted to learn how to do, and that was online marketing. And so I started following you that way. And every time you had something,
Yes.
I was signing up for it. I was signing up for it. I was in the coaching program. Because I wanted to learn. And I tell people that all the time. And I send people to you all the time. I'm like, if you want to learn, go to Lashaunda. She going to show you. She take your hand and she pull you through. And I'm just thankful for everything that I've learned from you.
Oh my goodness. I appreciate you for that. And I'm excited because you have been in this publishing space for many years now. So before we even talk about marketing, can you just give them a little bit of taste as far as what you've been doing as far as publishing and writing books and even sharing with others how they can do the same thing too?
Well, as I used to call this was my fantasy job. I wasn't thinking about making money when I started in this business. I don't recommend that. But I stared in 2000 on maternity leave. Supposed to be
Wow. Me
resting.
too. That's how I started when I
My
was pregnant.
Yep, my second son, my first son, CJ, I was on maternity leave, and before I had him, I was on bed rest for 3 months, so I had nothing to do but think. And so
Right.
I was thinking, I kept saying, "Man, I want a magazine. I want to do a magazine." And so I started, Googling, trying to find out how you do a magazine, and I found out I have no money. You got to have money to do a real print magazine, because you got to get it out there first. And so if you don't have advertisement, then you got to invest your own money. And so I was like, oh, I can't do that right now. I don't have the funds for it. And then I met a young lady who did her own online magazine. It was a science magazine. And I sent her an email and she responded. She sent me a list of stuff to do. And so
Wow.
I was like, oh, I'm so thankful for her because she sent it to me. I said that, I was, pregnant, couldn't do nothing else. And so I just did the checklist, went through the checklist. I had to create a website. I knew nothing about website, but as I tell people all the time, Google is your friend. I took a little
Absolutely.
mini class on how to set up a website. I set the website up. I did interviews, got everybody to participate in it that was going to participate. And I launched my magazine, Shades of Romance magazine, in 2000 while on maternity leave, my baby crying in the background. And one person came on there and I was on. I was like, yes, somebody came. that started my 20-year history of promoting books. I had no idea that I would do it for 20 years. It turned into a business. It turned into a movement. It was just amazing. And all this online. And that opened up so many different doors for me. I always wanted to be a writer, but I put that aside and did the magazine for a long time. And then people would ask me about promotion. How do you do promoting? How do you do this? And so somebody told me, you need to write a book about promotion. I was like, I write romance. I don't write promotion. And so I said, well, you know what? My friend said, I need you to write this book because there's so many new people out here that don't know how to promote. So I sat down, I challenged myself, and I finished the book. I I decided to publish it myself, which was an adventure. And then and I put it out there, and people bought the book. That just amazes me every day.
Right?
And that opened up a whole different avenue for me. I got into coaching, I got into presenting workshops, I got into teaching classes, and it's just been so amazing just from one book, but
Can I
one
say
book.
something? Because I didn't realize how divinely we are connected.
Yes,
So, first of all,
we
first of all, right? I left my job when I had my son, right? And so
are.
and I'm thinking now, pre my son, I started 20 years ago, just like you,
Mhm,
multiple shades of line, you online magazine. So I started
mhm.
multiple shades of you online magazine, and Lashaunda Hoffman started Shades of Romance magazine.
We
We both had
are
that shade in there, right?
we are
Uh,
so connected. I always call
connected.
you my kindred spirit online. I said she don't even know how many conversations I've had with you. And then when I started talking to you as my coach, and you just pushing me out of my comfort zones on different things. And I told you in an email that this was my dream, was to be able to
Uh,
be on the other side and teaching your community. That has always been.
yes.
I was like, one day Lashaunda's gonna invite me to be one of her people. That was many
The
months
day
ago,
came.
and it happened. And I just say, praise God.
Come on now. I love it. Before we even get started with promotion, I want y'all to think about a couple of things. Number one, there's nothing that can stop you. And sometimes birthing your baby will motivate you to birth your other baby. Because there are a lot of things that happen. I know when I was on maternity leave that just kind of inspired me to say, okay, full time, I wanted to do this online and move forward. Number two, I want you guys to be aware of the fact that even if you don't know what you're doing, as you're growing through this process, there are going to be people who come to you and say, hey, how did you do that? Right?
Mhm.
Lashaunda said, I didn't expect people to say to me, how do I promote? I write romance. I don't do promotion. And she wrote a book, right? I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram at SistaSense. I talked about today 5 types of books that you need to write. One is a starter guide, because whatever it is that you guys done through, there's somebody behind you who is like, how did she do that?
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
And they're curious about that. So definitely take a look at that. But we've got a lot of good to talk about today with Lashaunda as part of the Book Business Virtual Summit. I see y'all coming in here. Let's see. Hey, Levon. Hey. Welcome. Hey, Verlisa. Hi, Carlin. Hey, Rhonda. Jason is
Thank
in the
you.
building. Coming in. Y'all feel free to share this out because, of course, that's what it's all about. Jason is laughing and hollering with us. Twinning experience. I know, right? Lots of twinning experiences. So let's do this. Let's dive in because I want Lashaunda to talk about number one, what she's going to teach you all as part of the Book Business Summit on Saturday, because we're going to take you inside of promotion today.
All right. Well, I'm going to be talking about how to be a social butterfly, how to
Yeah.
create your first social butterfly promotion plan. And it's like 7 steps in there to create a plan. And today I want to talk about getting ready for promotion, because a lot of people get ready, they write their book, they think about their book, they think about releasing it, but they don't think about the promotion side. And that's
Yeah.
where you come up against a wall, because we're not promoters naturally. If we're writers, we just write. We don't want to do all the hard.
You want to create.
You're right. And when people come to me, they have gone all the way down to the slump. And I always say, come to me when you're excited about your book, not when you're down in the slump. Because if you're excited, you'll keep going. When you're down in the slump, you're like, Lashaunda, I don't care. I'm just done. And so I want you to, the first thing that you need to do to get ready for your promotion is to believe in what you're doing, to believe in your book, to be excited about your book. Because if you're not excited about your book, nobody else will be. And you're trying to get the word out there. So if you're excited, yeah, my book is coming out, people are going to talk about your book with you. But if you're not, girl, the book coming out, I don't know when, in October. Yeah. That's not exciting. People are not excited at all. You got to believe in it. You got to be ready, get that mindset, because that mindset is going to take you through the whole thing. When I published my book, I knew about promotion, but I had not a clue. I had not a clue that selling a book out here is hard for a pimp. You are pimping this book, and it's hard. It is hard. You gotta come back and say, I saw one book today, Lashaunda. That sucks. And I was like, nope, because that's one reader that got your book, and you're moving forward. I'm all about one reader at a time, because that's all you can grab it right now is one reader, especially if you're at home. You can't, now when you go to events, you can get 50 or 30, 40, 50, 100 readers. But when it's just one reader, you got to grab that person's attention. They got to be so excited to say, ooh, let me hit the buy button. Because that's what it's all about. What can make them hit that buy button? And so the second thing I say is to get your platforms ready. Okay, so people come to me and they're ready to promote their book. They don't have a website. They don't have an email list. They don't even know what to be on what social media platform. All that stuff should be ready before your book hits the stand, because you don't have time to do all that once that book hit. You're trying to sell. You ain't got time. Oh, let me hit that website up. Let me get the website together. Let me get my email list together. You ain't got time for that. You got to get running. And so you need to do all that stuff before you hit the upload of the book. You got plenty of time while you're writing. Take a Saturday, sit down, get your website together. Go to Lashaunda. If you don't want to put it together, let Lashaunda put it together for you. She makes beautiful websites. I send people to her all the time. Do your website. Don't tell me I don't need a website, Lashaunda. You need your own place. Because if social media broke down tomorrow, you would have nothing. Nothing. And so you can have a social media platform. I have no problems with that. I love social media. But I have had a website since 2000.
Since the beginning, right?
Yeah, have a website. Even if you don't want to have a big website, get a landing page. Landing pages are new things now. That's what everybody's doing. But it's yours. It's not Facebook's, it's not Instagram, it's your page. And you want that landing page. And then you want that email list. That's the first thing you're going to set up before you even start doing any type of promotion, because you want to get these readers and bring them back to your community. I always tell this story. When I started the magazine, I had 16,000 people visit the magazine online.
Yeah.
This was before email lists. I didn't know nothing about email lists. They weren't even talking about email lists in 2000. But I cry all the time, because can you imagine what you could do with 16,000 people's names, emails? You know, I didn't have an email list back then, so I couldn't grab people email lists. Now you can. So you can, Lashaunda, I ain't into emails. Don't let them people fool you that the email list is obsolete. It's not. It's still. It's still, that's how I make my money. I'm on social media, but my email list is how I make my money.
Absolutely.
It's 2000. So no, I would never tell you, oh, the email list is obsolete. Because social media only can get you in front of people for so long. Your email list gets in front of that person as soon as you send an email out. It's up to them if they want to open it. On social media, they have to put that person in front of you. Put your stuff in front of stuff.
And if they don't, because nowadays you got to pay to play.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you ain't getting it from 3 people.
Right, exactly.
I'll tell you too. You be going on your insights. You got 500 people in there. It said 4 people seen it. Are you serious, Facebook? But that's how it works. That's their website. They can do what they want. On your website, you can do what you want. So make sure you have your email list ready. Make sure that your social media platforms are set up. You got your covers ready, your cover page ready. With your new pictures. Go get your new pictures. You know you're going to be looking fly. So get your new pictures put on there so people know who you look like. Don't be having a 20-year-old picture. See this gray? I can't put no more chocolate pictures up, no more dark hair, because they be like, Lashaunda, we know that's not you anymore. So make sure it's an up-to-date picture. When I see you, it ain't what you had in 2000. Come on now. You want to know what you look like. People want to know what you look like. So make sure your platforms are up to date. Make sure you got the buy buttons on there. So when they say, oh, I love this book, They can go to it and hit it in your and all your platforms. Most of them have a link that you can
Yes.
put in there. So when that link, make sure it's going back to either your web page or somewhere to go buy something, because that's where you want to send them. You want to always give them a call of action to go, oh, I like her, let me hit that buy button. But you got to get it ready. If you don't have all this stuff ready, guess what you're going to be doing when your book release? You ain't got time for that. You don't. You're going to be tired. You're going to be driving yourself crazy because ain't nobody buying your book. And you want to know why they ain't buying your book, because you're not set up. You're not ready.
Not set up right.
You are not ready. The next thing is you got to talk about your book. Do you know how many people write and don't tell nobody they write? I was one of them. I focused on the magazine, so I wasn't telling people I was writing. So people like, oh, I didn't know you write. Yeah, I don't. Now I talk about it. I talk about my manuscripts, what I'm writing about. I talk about that my couple live in St. Louis. I talk about that he plays baseball. People get them interested. They're like, well, what? He play baseball? What does he do? You want people to talk to you about your book. So when you say, well, look, what happened? I talked about a dragon book I'm writing. Somebody's like, Lashaunda, you talked about this dragon book. What happened to it? Are you bringing it out? They want to know what's going on with you. Your readers want to know what's going on with you. So you need to get them hyped, really hyped about your book. If they're not hyped, then they're going to move on.
I want to just interject for a second here. Carlin says, just going to pop this on the screen really quick. Yes, sister, I had over 200,000 followers on my blog talk show prior to getting an email list. So I get it, right? It's so important for you to have an email list. Lisa Hook says, yes. 2 books written, none published, right?
Okay,
so
Lisa,
where, in addition to writing the content, you're ready for the people. It's so important. So the first thing, because Lashaunda is just, she's a guru at this. She's been doing this for a while. So she said, you got to make sure your mindset is right. Number 1, you got to make sure your pages is ready. Number 2, you got to make sure that you're talking about what you do. Number 3. So I'm asking you guys, for you guys who are here, are you doing these things? For my authors, my creatives, my entrepreneurs, your mindset right? Or you in the slump? You feeling frustrated and you ain't even putting nothing out there yet. You not quite excited as you need to be. Number 1. Number 2, are your pages ready? You want that revenue, but are your pages ready? Our website, or at the very least, as Lashaunda says, a landing page. So you sending people somewhere. Your list is ready. So you got an email list to send them to. Is that ready? Are you talking about what you're doing? Telling people that you write, you got something coming out, you bringing something back, look at the cover, what you think about that. Are you talking about your stuff? Because she's giving y'all some good before we even do the summit, right? And make sure y'all write this down. Somebody drop this into the comment box for me. www.sistasense.com/BB Summit. It's going to be all the way live and lit on Saturday. I've got Lashaunda and some amazing other speakers, publishers, bestseller, author, experts. We're going to talk to you about publishing, planning, and promoting your book. Make sure you're live, and then you grab the replays too, in case you don't know if you're going to be able to watch all the good that we've got happening on Saturday. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that I ask you those questions. So answer them. They're not rhetorical. Whether you're watching live or via the replay, check in with us. Let us know, are you doing any of the 3 things that Lashaunda talked about so far? And I'm going to let her continue. Just want to pause for a second. Drop that on you.
That was good. They need to ask those questions, because a lot of people don't. They don't get ready. If you don't have your email list, I don't even say go promote at all, because you're trying to gather people. If you come on, I have a podcast. If you come on my podcast and you talking about your stuff, guess what? People are going to come back to you. They want to know who you are. They want to know what's going on. You don't have a website, so how can they get you? You're not on social media, so how can they get you? You don't have an email list, then how can they get back to you? I'm telling you, in the 20 years of promoting and doing a magazine, I met plenty of authors who had none of that. So I told them, I'm not even going to promote you. And they got their little feelings hurt, but I said, I'm not going to get my free readers all psyched up for you. You don't even have a book ready. You just want to be in a book magazine because you're getting the book ready. You got to be ready. You got to be ready to promote. So
At
you
the
can,
very least, a pre-order page, right? Like
yeah,
something.
yeah, something so people can get ready to buy it. Because when somebody opens the magazine and they see your book and it sounds delicious, they like, I'm ready for this book. Where are they going? They're going to go buy
Right.
it. And you,
One of my
okay.
one of my pet peeves is the coming soon. Nobody cares if it's coming soon. You got to take me somewhere.
Now I do coming soon promotion, but I will not do it unless I have a link. And they're like, Lashaunda, I don't have a
Something.
link. You got to have a link because
You
I
have
need to send them to somewhere because they're gonna be ready to hit, and they need to know where
something.
they're gonna hit too. So I say hit, come back to your website and sign up for your mailing list. So when it goes live, you can send that message out to all those people who
There
said,
you
"Oh, I
go.
want this book." If
There you
not,
go.
they're gonna guess what? Guess where they're going? They're gonna go to that other book that say, "Hey, here's my link to buy it. Here's my link to come sign up for my mailing list. Here's my website if you just want to check me out."
Yeah.
You have to be ready. You have to be ready. Do not sleep on the getting ready part because
No.
that's going to make it successful. That's going to make your time success. That's going to make your promotion so much easier. I see people promoting on social media and they'll put the book on there. They'll tell me what the book is about, and that's it.
Yeah. No
So that's
link.
what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep scrolling. You're gonna keep scrolling down to somebody who has something that I can push. We are immediate people. We want response right now. We want. If I see your book and it's good, I should be able to get it that day.
Yeah.
I should be able to go and buy it on Kindle or order it and have it sent to my house. But if it's not ready, I understand it. And I said, oh, this is coming out. You know, somebody just announced that they were going to do, oh, Cicely Tyson, she's going to do something in 2021. They telling us now that in 2021, her memoirs are coming out. So, you know, everybody didn't put that on their to-do list. They want that because we love us some Cicely Tyson. But when they start putting out the pre-orders, guess what? You know people are going to pre-order it because they want that book. That's what you want. You want the same thing.
Absolutely.
You are just like Michelle Obama or anybody else. If they want the book, they're going to pre-order it. If they don't
Now,
want
as
the
a
book,
consumer,
they're
I will
going to
say this. There was a particular website I went on as a consumer, and they had not a book, but they had a clothing line. And I
mm-hmm,
wanted it, but it wasn't available. So I got
mm-hmm,
on the list. And
mm-hmm.
so the minute it was back in, they said, hey, this is back out, dot, dot, dot. Right. But if you're not getting those people captured when they go to the website and they're not able to pay, how can you check in with them later? Right.
Right,
So that's something to
right.
think about.
That's like coming to you, just like she went to the store. It's just like what they call it. Oh, I can't think of the word of it. They give you a rain check. You get a
Yes.
rain check. And so and you come back because you
Right.
got your card. So your email list is like a rain check. You just telling them, hey, sign up. When it's ready, I'm gonna send you a message to let you know that it's ready. And you want it to be, and you don't want to keep people for 2 or 3 years on your email list and you don't have it. You know, you want to let them know immediately what's coming. Or if something goes down, when I did a pre-sale for my books, but I'm in the learning stages, so I didn't know that when I ordered my books, they weren't going to come in a week's time, that they were going to come 2 or 3 weeks later. And so I was like, oh, I told them they were going to have the books before it released. And so I went back to my email list and I said, hey, I'm new to publishing, as you know. I said, and Amazon is not going to have my books to me when I thought they were going to have them. So this is what's going to happen. And everybody's like, oh, we all right, Lashaunda. We know how it works. I was like, oh, well, great. You know, but I informed them I could do
Right.
that. If they wasn't on my email list, I wouldn't have been able to tell them. And then guess what? They'd have been mad because they didn't
Right.
get their books when they're supposed to get them. You know, and so
That's
that's
big.
the great thing about having an email list is that you always in constant communication with your readers, with your followers, or whoever's in your, I call it my community, whoever's in my
Right.
community, I can get in touch with them. I can say, hey, I'm going to be on a Lashaunda show tonight. Come see me. And they,
Yes.
hey, you know, so that's the great thing about it. So the last tip is to create a plan. I'm all about that plan. And I'm going to teach that Saturday, the social media, the social butterfly plan. But your plan is all about how are you going to promote your book? And you know what? Most people don't plan. They don't plan at all.
Right. If
Oh, they
you,
just
what do
say,
they say? If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Right.
exactly, exactly. And when I wrote my book, after the book came out, I realized that my book was a promotion plan in a book because it's like 24 things that you can do. And if you took one thing every month, that's 2 years of 2 years of promotion that you can do inside this. And so when I realized it, I was like, that's how I pitched it. I was like, you don't want to write a plan? I got your plan for you. All you do is open it up, pick out something to do, and there you go.
And do it.
Yeah. And so
No brainer.
Right. It's all about what is it that you want from your promotion. You got to know what is it you want. That's why you need a promotion plan is because one, you want to know what is it you want from your promotion. A lot of people like, oh, I just want to sell tons of books. Tons of books take planning. It takes a lot to sell one book. So if you got tons of books, what you gonna do? I had a friend tell me she wanted to sell 5,000 books. Ooh. And she said, well, that's what I sold with the publisher. I should be able to sell that with it myself. I said, okay. And she said, you're not sounding excited, Lashaunda. I said, because you're going to work your tail off. And so I hope you're ready for that. And I said, you had a publisher. You the publisher now. It's a difference. Your publisher helps promote you and you promote you. But when you are the publisher, you do all the hats. You do all the stuff. You got to get out there. So I say you can't just sit on social media and sell 5,000 books. You got to do some things. And so you want to know what is it that you're going to do with your promotion? Are you going to go to events? Are you going to do your own events? Are you going to do book signings? Are you going to do talk shows, radio shows? Are you going to be on TV? Those are the list of things that you need to know that you're going to do before the book comes out. You can't plan all that stuff after the book comes out because you got to get on people's lists. You got to get on people's schedules. All that stuff has to be in place before the book comes out. That's your marketing plan. You're getting your marketing plan together. What are you going to do for your promotion? What are you going to do? Are you going to get a PR person that's going to help do some stuff for you? What are you going to do? Are you going to create your content? Are you going to pay somebody to do your content? Are you going to pay for promotion? Are you going to create your own promotion? It's tons of stuff that you got to do for the promotion plan. And how often will you promote? Are you going to be that person that promote once a week to sell 5,000 books?
Can't do it. Can't do it. Now, what I'm going to say, too, because one of our amazing speakers is Pam Perry. And Pam Perry is an expert at branding and marketing, right? And so Pam brought me in to work with one of her clients, Erica Lynn. We just launched her website, Erica Lynn Speaks. They're doing the branding and PR. I built the website, right? Based on the specifications that they gave me. Now, here's the deal. Erica said, okay, Lashaunda, they've already lined me up for different podcasts, radio shows, and interviews. And so they're working on her PR. They've got her interviews, and then she's got people who she's interviewing on her podcast, and all of this synergy is happening in the background. It's not just, okay, I have a book. It's on Amazon, I'm good, right? Either you got to be the PR agent or you've got to have and Pam is going to have a great session as well, talking about things that you need to do to work on speaking and marketing and promoting yourself. These are all things that you have to think about, right? Yes, you create the book or you are working on writing the book, but either you get a PR agency or you learn how to be your own PR expert. Pam is going to be speaking as part of the Book Business Virtual Summit. So again, make sure that you guys go to www.sistasense.com/BB Summit so that you can watch us and you can learn. We're going to be doing these lives all week, but the actual virtual summit is on Saturday. Make sure that you register and also get the replays too, so that you can make sure that you can really get the most of the experience. I have something called the Authorpreneur School. It's got over 25 plus videos so that in addition to what we're going to talk about on Saturday, you can dig into over 25 plus hours of amazing speakers like Lashaunda and Pam and all of these entrepreneurs. A lot of them have their own self-publishing or they have their own traditional publishing outlets talking about business, book building, and branding. And all of those sessions are available as a bonus when you get the replays, the Authorpreneur School. So just wanted to put that out there as well. I love that you talked about having a PR agent because either you have one or you become one, that you have to have a plan.
Yeah, you have to be ready. You can't wait to the last minute and think, oh, I'm going to get on this podcast. Because some people get their stuff 3 or 4 months earlier. They get their schedule together, and you can't wait to the last minute to do that. And one of the things I tell my clients is, what is it that you want from this book? because you got to think about that. Even if you have a fiction book or you got nonfiction, you most people know they're going to do like TV shows or radios and stuff like that. But that book is going to open up a whole different streets, as I call them, you different roads for that book. So you have to be prepared for that. So now is a good time to think about that. So if you got this book, do you want to be a coach? I didn't think about being a coach. That wasn't even on my agenda when I set my book out. And people are like, I need help. I need you to help me. What's your price? And I'm like, oh, you got to be ready for that. You got to be ready for.
Are we good? Okay. I think the something happened with the connection, but hopefully we're good.
Okay. And so you gotta be ready for what's this book gonna open you up to. Do you want to do trainings, workshops? People are gonna invite you to workshop. People are gonna contact you as soon as it publishes and said, what did you do? How can I do that? And you have to be prepared for that. That blew me completely. I'm like, you wrote a book? What you do? I need to be in your class. I don't have a class. Well, I think you need.
And it's interesting that you talk about that, because essentially, here's a question for you guys. For those of you participating, whether you're watching live or via the replay, do you want to be an authorpreneur? Some people just want to write a book and get that book out there. Is that your goal? Some people want to make a lot of money selling their book. Is that your goal? Is your goal to then take this book and leverage it so you can get speaking engagements, you can create your own courses, you can teach people? What is your goal when it comes to this book? Are you going to use it to leverage it? Or are you writing just, when I wrote my first book, it was a poetry book, but it was my journal, it was my private stuff. So I just kind of wanted to have my own thing. I wasn't like focused on the sales. I just wanted to hold it and touch and sniff it and see it in print. Like, what is your objective? What are you feeling when it comes to why you're creating this, right? Because that's going to speak to that plan that you're talking about as well.
Yeah, and you really need to sit and think about that, because I did not. I honestly did not. My goal for my book was to help an author promote their books. I did not think that I was going to need to hold their hand while they learn how to do it. That was not on my calendar. I was not thinking I was going to be invited to be on people's summits, to talk about promotion. I just was helping somebody see that they could do their own promotion. That was my goal for that book. And then I had to step back, and I call myself, what I do is have virtual tea with Lashaunda. So I had to have virtual tea with Lashaunda and see, okay, what else can we do with this book? I've turned my book into workshops. I've turned my book into events. I've taken the book and created little mini books from that book. And so many different things that you can do with your book. And you have to be prepared for that before it releases, because I'm telling you, it's going to rush so fast and people are going to be asking you different things. And then you don't have a price range on what you're doing. Then you can jump into stuff and get underpaid, because you're like just so excited, and then you're like, I'm tired. When my year was up, I was tired.
That first year,
I overwhelmed myself, and I don't recommend it. Don't overwhelm yourself when you're making your plan. That's the biggest thing when you're doing your plan, is you want to have a plan that you're having fun with. I made a plan that overwhelmed me. I wanted something for every month. I wanted to do 20 things every month, because that's just Lashaunda. That's how I am. I don't recommend that for nobody. 3 things at the most to focus on when you're promoting. Because you guys, if I had a full-time job, I'm a mama, and then I had my business. And so, no, I couldn't do 20 things, even though I wanted to, So
what's great about that, one of the other speakers, Diane Taylor, we had a private session that's going to be a part of the Authorpreneur School. And she said, I had to learn how to say no, because, we talked about, she's done huge events like Essence Festival. She's in Barnes and Nobles. We talked about local and international and how that works. And she said, you will burn yourself out if you try to be a part of everything and market. So understanding how to strategically pick things is important too, because sometimes you're just happy that people are inviting you, right? Or you're getting opportunities, so you signing up for everything, but not everything ends up being beneficial to you.
Yes, you know that, and that's stuff that you need to know before you go out there. Is this helping you reach your audience?
Yeah.
That's the first big question that you have to read. Just because they got 5,000 readers there, are they reading what you write?
Right.
Because,
If it's not, if your book is not in their genre, you're going to just
what?
be standing at that table as people walk by, right?
Yeah, people want to go to the Essence Festival and they want to pay for the Essence Festival, but is Essence Festival reader audience your audience? You know, a lot of people go down there, the nonfiction books, self-help, off the chain. But some people who do fiction say they have a hard time with it because they don't want fiction. They want what you got, what you got. You know, so you want to make sure that that audience matches what you write. That is the most important thing, especially when you're paying for vending slots and things like that. You might not recoup your money for how much you paid, but you might have made 5 clients that's going to be with you for 20 years. And so you got to look at that. If you spent $300, but you only met 3 people and they didn't even buy your book, but they gave you your business cards, and when you come back, they're spending $1,000 with you. You recouped it, but it was just later, you know. And so you have to know if that's the right audience that you're going to. It's so hard to think about. You're so excited about all, like you said, you're getting invited to all these events, and you have to know when to say no. I have to say no a lot because that's just not my audience. And if you're not getting paid for it, then that's my time. I'm spending 2 hours.
And investment if you're traveling and you're paying for certain things.
And so you have to be, you know, when I go to stuff, if I'm going to vend, I know I'm probably not going to recoup my money for the books, but I'm going to meet 20 or 30 authors who will maybe want to promote with me later. You know, and so you have to look at that, all those little bitty things you have to take in consideration. You know, where you want to promote at and how often you want to promote. If you have a budget for promoting, most people don't have a budget for promoting. So you got to do the work. You become your PR person. You are the PR person. So I suggest learning as much as you can about promotion. Get my book, teaches you everything. Find some other classes, take classes because stuff changes constantly. If you're on social media, take social media
yesterday.
Yeah, social media classes are very helpful because if you don't know how to do a Facebook ad, don't do one if you've never learned how. Don't just get up there and boost something. That's what people do. They boost and then they mad because nothing happened. Well, why are you boosting? I didn't know you're supposed to know why you boosted. Who are you boosting to? That's what you got to know. So take some classes.
Understand what you're doing.
Yeah, because if now you spend $500 and you mad, you sold one book.
So I do see that you guys are checking in with us. What are you sending with, or DJ says, let me pop that on the screen. DJ, not sure if you're still here, my dear. Let's see here. What are you sending with or in this email list? What are you sending to them?
Well, that's up to you. What is it you would like to share to your list? Well, I have a community, and I do. When I first started the community, I thought I was going to do monthly. I was like, yeah, I'm sending a monthly thing. And then nothing was really happening with Lashaunda, so I didn't really have much to share. So I do quarterly. And I share about what's going on with me. I share about what I'm working on, what books I'm working on. I share about the events that I'm going to be at. And then I like to share about my reader friend, my author friends. And so I'll share a book because I don't have a new book out. So I'll share their books, maybe 3 or 4 books in there, and and introduce my community to theirs. I recommend at least once a month or quarterly to your community, and then tell your community how often that you want to send to them so they know to be prepared, because people will get on your list and then claim you spamming them. Right. They ain't heard from you in 2 years. I had somebody say, I ain't sent nothing out in 2 years. I say half of them emails probably don't even work anymore. So you want to update your people all the time. Be
consistent about it.
Yeah, you have to be consistent. And I always tell my clients, pay attention to who you signed up for. How often are they sending stuff to you? I'm Domino's Pizza send me something once a week. Right. They try to get you in the week. They get you in during the week. You need your meal
in the week,
and then they get you on the weekend. And so you got to look at that. Look at how often people are sending stuff. People tell me emails is obsolete. I'm still getting 55,000 emails, so it can't be too obsolete. you know?
Absolutely. We've got Verlisa here, and she's talking about, hey, Verlisa, struggling with the website, but can we use a landing page for the book instead of a website until that's done? What do you think about that, Lashaunda?
Yes, we were talking about that earlier. Landing pages are the new thing. Everybody's doing landing pages. I love them. Make sure your email system has a good pretty landing pages. Because if you don't know how to create that, if they got templates, all you do is drop your little stuff in there and you look like you're a professional. Or you can go to Miss Lashaunda Henry and she can create you some landing pages. She probably got some kind of program for it. So, you know.
So yeah, Verlisa and I, we're working on a couple of sales pages, but landing pages are helpful as well. For those of you who are not a part of my list building training, that's one of the things that you'll get as part of your virtual swag and the book business summit. It's 7 days and it gives you some training on how to set up landing pages and build your list if that's not something that you have. That link is inside of the virtual summit. Good with the replays too. I think that it's so important because what you can do is you can either get them on the wait list or you can say, click here and get, the free book, or some people have click here and you'll get, the book for free and you just have to pay for shipping. There are lots of different style landing pages that people set up with their books. And we'll definitely go into different strategies that you guys can use.
Yeah, I recommend the landing page if you don't have a website at all. You're trying to grab email. Here's the thing. If you're a new author, you don't have a community yet. So that's what you're doing. You're building your community. You're getting your people. If you got 200 people on your Facebook page, then you try to grab those people over to your email list because you can get in front of them. When I did my book, I will be honest, I did not have a website for Lashaunda Hoffman. I had the Sormag website forever, but I didn't want to maintain a website. So I understand when people say they don't want to. I don't want to do that. That's just too much hassle. I was that person. So I understand. I didn't do it. But when I decided I was going to write a book, I went and claimed LashaundaHoffman.com because it's a bunch of Lashaundas now. And when I first came out, wasn't that many but Lashaunda. Now everybody named mama named Lashaunda.
And we both have the same initials too. Look at that. Ellen.
And so I went to claim my name because I was like, let me claim my name because it's a bunch of Lashaundas out here now. So I claimed LashaundaHoffman.com. And then I set my email list thing up and I started grabbing people in. So by the time my book came out, I had 200 people on my email list. And I sold 150 people bought a book from the email list.
Wow.
And so, I was excited about
that conversion right there.
Yeah, it was, because most of the time people on your email list, you might get 10%.
Right. And that 10% is high because the average conversion rate is 2 to 3%. And that's you doing something.
Oh,
that's
really?
the average.
Really?
If you look at conversion marketing, if y'all go on Google, you Google conversion marketing, on average it's 2 to 3%. 10% is freaking amazing. The fact that she got 150 of 200, that is sky's the roof, almost impossible.
Yeah. I tell people that all the time. I had a friend that had 5,000 people on her email list when her book before book released, and when her book released, nobody bought it from her email list. And so she was like, well, what do I do? I said, you delete that email list and start over. And she was mad at me because she's like, do you know how long it took me to build up to 5,000? I said,
but what did you send them?
Yeah.
How did you get them on the email list?
Well, she did a lot of contests and stuff, but they weren't interested in her. They weren't interested in whatever she was offering for the time frame. You don't want a huge list if they're not interested in you and your books. You can do 20 people and sell nicely. But
just having the right people on your
list.
list.
You gotta have. I learned that with doing the magazine, that I had my mailing list got up to like 6,000 at one time.
Yeah.
But 6,000 wasn't opening, and I was paying for 6,000. And so I was like,
purging your list is sometimes, Jason says, right. Sometimes, people get caught up with the visual of that number. I don't want them to unsubscribe. I don't want to leave. But if that list isn't making you money, it's not making sense.
It's not making sense at all. And if you paying for it, it really ain't making sense, So I was
Right.
like, I can get a cheaper list under 6,000, And so you have to maintain your email list.
I
Don't just
scrub my
go.
list.
I tell people that all the time, do it quarterly. Go in there. If they're not opening it, you can slide them over to another list to segmentize
You
it,
can
or
even delete them.
and then you can open them back, send them a message and say, hey, what happened? How you doing? Whatever. But if they're not opening, I sell promotion. So I was like, I can't justify charging for 6,000 when 6,000 is not opening. Because
Right.
the people are like, well, how many people open? 5.
Well,
5
listen.
and that's sad. So you gotta, when you're doing emails, and as you grow with your email list, you're gonna pay eventually. You're gonna end up paying for your
Right.
email.
And
So
you've got to be
you have
mindful
to
of
know
that.
that it's for real. You don't want 500 people that ain't never opening your thing, and you paying $50 a month for them, and nobody's opening. So that's very important. And a lot of people don't think about that when they're attracting people. They're getting all these people to their list, but they ain't buying your book.
Right.
And so look at that. Are they buying? Are they hitting the click buttons? Are they, your insights will tell you, and you'll look at it and you'll go, you don't want to believe it, but you like, ain't none of these they didn't buy nothing. So
Jason says that you've got to be careful how you attract your list. If
exactly.
you attract them with an offer that's not geared towards your end goal, right? It's so important, which is why, we talked about you sitting down with you and really thinking about, well, what is your objective here? Why are you doing this? Why are you putting it out there? Because these things have to be in alignment. And I want, Lashaunda, if you could just kind of just quickly recap. You said what were the things that you shared today? And then we're going to wrap up for today.
Okay. All right. So one, I said to believe in your work. You have to believe in what you're putting out there. You got to be excited about it, because if you're excited, then you will gravitate to people who are excited with you. So you want to make sure that you want to have the right mindset. The promotion mindset is what I say. You got to be ready for the promotion. The book is not going to sell itself. You got to help it. So you got to be ready for it. Then you got to get your platforms ready. Get everything ready before your book comes out. You don't want to be sending back. People go, well, what's your website? Where's your email list? Where are you on social media? You don't want that answer. So you want to be able to, when you have a listing, I have on my Evernote, people ask me, well, I need your bio, I need your website, I need your email list, I need your social media platforms. All I have to do is copy and paste and put it into the email. At first I used to be running around trying to get all that. I got time for that. People don't have time for that. They want their stuff right now. And so you got to make sure that all your ducks are in order when it's time. When you do an interview with a magazine, they want all that information. They want to be able to send their readership over to where you are, or where to get sign up for you on Instagram. Hey, I'm on Instagram. Well, how can I get what's your handle? You don't have none of that stuff ready. You're not ready. You're just not ready for promotion. So get all that stuff ready beforehand. And then you got it ready for, if you really got it ready, it's already in your book. It's in the back of your book. All that stuff is in the back of your book, and they can click and when you do everything. If it's not in the back of your book, when you update it, put it in the back of your book. You want to bring everybody that reads your book back to you, into
your circle.
Right. Then you want to talk about your book. You're always talking about your book. People on your platform should know that you write, that you're a writer, that you have a book, and what is your current book. And then they need to know how to get it. So if it's not ready, then you signing them up for your email list or your pre-sales. You go into your landing page for the pre-sales, or you are sending them to your website to learn more about the book. If I send people to my website, because most times people want autographed copies. So send them to your website to buy the autographed copy. If you don't want to send them to Amazon, send them to your website first. And then if they, sometimes people have.
And then that should say also available on Amazon.
Right, exactly. This is my tip. If you're an indie author, is to sell the book from your site first. Get all your money first. Then support Amazon later. Get all your money first. You get out with an indie author. You don't want a middleman. Amazon is the middleman. So you buy your books and mail them out. That's the most amazing thing. Is somebody bought your book and you autograph it to them, and then you mail it to them.
Personalized.
So wonderful. It's so wonderful that way. They can order it, but it's not from you. So you want to make
Right.
sure, let them come to you first. And then you want to make sure that your promotion plan is ready. Get your promotion plan together, put it out there. What
What's
is it
your
going to do?
objective? How you're
You know,
going to be
everything
promoting it?
about what is your promotion plan. So I'm gonna tell you the steps of your promotion plan Saturday. So you get ready, bring your notebook pad and get ready to do your promotion plan.
Come on now. So make sure you guys, if somebody could drop the link into the comment box for me, www.sistasense.com/BB Summit. You are ready, registered, and set. There are lots of different registration levels. Definitely recommend getting the replays plus Authorpreneur School. What I want to do is based on what Lashaunda talked about today, I'm going to give you a checklist, okay? As we're going to wrap up here. And I want you to think about this checklist, both in-house and external. So let's do in-house, okay? I know Lashaunda already got all of these, but do you have these 5 things, okay? First and foremost, number 1, do you have an email list? Do you have an email list? So that's number 1. We got them. Do you have one, right? Number 2, do you have your pages, okay? Do you have your pages ready? We got our pages. We good. Lashaunda and I are good. Are you good? Do you have your pages? Number 3 on this list, do you have a podcast? We got podcasts. I was on Lashaunda's podcast a couple of months ago. Do you have a podcast? Number 3. Number 4, do you have your own publication platform? Magazines. We both have our own branded magazine. Do you have your own publication platform? So outside of you trying to figure out how to get on other people's platforms, you've got a platform of your own that people can consider. Number 5 on this list, do you have a blog? So that you are consistently writing and sharing information, chapters of your book. You've got content that you've got people go, oh my gosh, I just love what she writes. Do you have a blog? I'm going to give you a bonus one. Last but not least, do you have your own branded group? Do you have a community, right? Whether it be on Facebook or meetup.com, something where you say, these are my people, right? And you're growing that community to build your tribe. So that checklist that I just gave you right there, we got all of that and a bag of chips. I want you to think about what you've got in-house. Number 1, and out of curiosity, for those of you who are here, out of curiosity, drop into the comment box. Let us know. Do you have your pages? Do you have your own group? Do you have your own blog? Do you have a podcast, right? Do you have, what did I talk about here on this list? Do you have your blog? Do you have your own magazine? Drop into the comment box. Let us know what you have versus what you're missing, number 1. Number 2, can you list at least 2 to 5 people you know that you can go to and leverage? Because they got a blog you could be on. They got a podcast you could be on. They got a magazine you could be in. You're trying to think about how to promote yourself. Leverage your community. Leverage the people that you know, right? Connected to. One of the things that you get in your virtual swag is a few guides. One of those guides is on 27 money marketing and sales strategies, because we ain't playing. We want to make sure that you have all that you need to do to explore your promotion and marketing potential, right? And so on Saturday, Lajana is going to drop that 7-part plan, the social media butterfly plan that she's got created for you. You want to make sure that you are a social butterfly, and you can go through all the steps and strategies that we've given you. Okay, so take that list that I just gave you, a 5 plus 1, so it's kind of like 6. Internally, what do you have in-house versus externally? Do you know if you've got at least 2 to 5 people who have these things, magazines, podcasts, blogs, that you can say, hey, so-and-so, I got that book coming out. Can we connect, right? Half the time when I'm on podcasts and interviews, people are either asking me or I'm checking in with my circle to say, hey, boo, you got some space for me? I'd love to be on your show, right? Being connected. I think what it was with Lashaunda, actually, she posted and said, hey, I'm working on the podcast. I've got some slots. Who's interested in talking about their book? And she shared that on social media. So if you around the right bodies, the opportunities will present themselves to you, right? One of the things that I always say is the success of your business depends upon the company that you keep. So make sure that you stay in the good company that we keep. Right? And you're adding these people to your circle. So you're not just looking at cats and, like random videos on YouTube. When you're on social media, you actually are seeing amazing entrepreneurs, publishers, and content creators who you can work with because they're making it known that they have opportunities to work with you. Okay. I just wanted to say that as well. Lashaunda, is there anything else that you want to drop on them? Any gems before we wrap up today?
I like everything you said. I'm all about building relationships, and like you said, building relationships. This circle, I've been in your circle for a long time, and you put things out there, and I was really excited to have you on the podcast. And you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention to opportunities. People miss opportunities because they're busy doing other things or they don't respond. I put out opportunities all the time and I get crickets and I'm like, wow. But I know that maybe Facebook didn't put it in front of the people that needed the opportunities, or maybe people just scrolled and didn't think about it. Or sometimes you're scared that you're not the right person. But one of the things that I'm learning is to do it scared, because maybe you've never did a podcast and you're scared about doing a podcast and you're like, I want to do a podcast, but I have no clue. Do I have to be visible? You don't know. And so put it out there. Tell the person this is my first time doing a podcast. I had a person do a podcast and he went live while he was doing our podcast. I never thought anybody would go live doing a podcast, but he was so excited. But I had to put that in my rule. Do not go live while you're doing a podcast. Then what's the point? It's already been out there.
It'll come out later, not now, not today.
Right. So, you don't miss opportunities because you're scared.
Right.
You see a magazine you want to be in, go find their guidelines. Every magazine has guidelines. And they'll tell you if they're looking for content, if you can pitch content to them, if you need somebody to pitch the content to them. Most of the time, the people I invited to my magazine, I invited them. Maybe 3 or 4 times a year, I would get a bold author that would say, hey, my book is coming out in May and I want to be in May. I had one lady call me and say, Lashaunda, I want to be on the cover.
Come on now.
I had never in 20 years had anybody be on the cover. I put her on the cover because I was like, hey, you say you want to be on the cover, girl, you're going to be on the cover. And she was like,
come on now. But I always tell y'all, you better get your ASK, get your ask in gear, because you never know. Somebody out there will say yes. They will say yes. Right?
Well, with me and with Lashaunda, I was scared, so I never asked Lashaunda to be on her thing. No. I can't ask Lashaunda. She's my mentor, my guide. What if she say no? I'll be heartbroken. So I never asked. But I'm gonna tell you, she's right. If you don't ask, I probably should have asked 15 years ago. It'd be a whole different market, But you make your own table. I had to learn how to make my own table and invite people to my table. So I'm gonna put my thing out.
Somebody write that into the comment box. You make your own table.
I have made my own table since 2000. I wanted a magazine. I didn't wait. I made it myself. I wanted an online conference. I made it myself. I wanted a book festival. I made it myself.
Come on now.
If you're gonna be doing a book, I'm gonna invite you to the book festival in November. Hit me up. Tell me, Lashaunda, I want to be at the book festival. You at the book festival. I send you a link. You go figure out what you want to do on the book festival. You're on there. People send me messages all day long talking about they want to do on a book festival. I send them a link to go look at the book festival page. Pick what you want to do. I never hear back from them. I don't know if they got intimidated. Are they scared? What happened? Do it scared. Believe me.
Do it scared and get ready, y'all.
Scary catch.
Now listen. Yup, for real. I gotta go because literally right now is the Firestarter Circle Tuesday Mastermind. So for y'all in the mastermind, we about to get that on and popping. Listen, I could stay on here with Lashaunda all day, okay? So make sure that you Make sure that y'all follow LashaundaHoffman.com on her social media platforms. We're going to have so much fun on Saturday. Make sure that you register for the virtual summit. Let us know what you learned from today. And we're going to be right back here tomorrow because we're doing a week-long series of lives. So go to SistaSense.com/BB Summit so that you can see the schedule for Saturday, number 1, the schedule for the lives all week, number 2, and you register number 3 so that you have the opportunity to get the live, the replays, and all the good that we do as part of the SistaSense Circle. Thank y'all so much for being here. Mwah. Lashaunda, I cannot believe it's taken us this long to do this, but guess what? Nothing but goodness together. We gonna be like this, okay?
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate
so
it.
much for being here right there.
You were scared.
Do it scared. Bye, y'all. See you next time.